The concept and policy of the smart city. Hello everyone. Nice to meet you. Today we're going to learn about the concept of what the smart city is and how smart city policies are proceeding. The world's population is flocking to cities. According to the world's population prospects reported by the United Nations, the population will continue to grow, reaching 11.2 billion in 2100. 2/3 of the future population will live in cities. As the population surged into cities, urbanization progressed. Accordingly, various urban problems are occurring, such as environmental pollution, energy-environment issues, crime prevention, and a lack of housing supply. Various urban paradigms were presented to solve these urban problems. They are garden city, compact city, sustainable city, eco-city, smart city, etc. Among them, smart city, using information and communication technology, is in the limelight as model to effectively solve urban problems. Now let's take a look at smart city with low-cost, high efficiency, its history and concepts, architecture and characteristics, policies, and more. Through this time of learning, you will be able to explain the history and concept of the smart city, the changes to smart city policy, and the progress status of the smart city in Korea. So let's start learning. One, the history and concept of the smart city. The future city comes from the growth of architectural technologies and ICTs, information and communication technology. The growth of these technologies has transformed the city into deeper, higher, and more dense space. The concept of a future city started with Martin Dodge's virtual city in 1978, followed by information in the 1980s, network city in the 1990s, ubiquitous city in Korea in the 2000s, and currently, smart city. Smart city, one of several future city models, was created to solve social problems such as low birth rate and aging population, economic problems such as low growth and high unemployment, environmental problems such as climate change, and political issues such as balanced regional development and activation of sharing. The early concept of a future city was an abstract information-based concept, but it has recently evolved into a fusion of an information network and data-driven concept. So, what is the concept of the smart city? Smart city is a model of a futuristic city that utilizes high technology, such as information and communication technology and eco-technology in an existing traditional city. Traditional cities are cities built using techniques such as transit-oriented development, compact city and mixed-use development, and ICTs, means information systems, administrative system, platform, etc., and eco-technology means renewable energy technology, environmental monitoring technology, etc. The area, 1, can be regarded as ubiquitous city, a city centered on ICTs, and the area, 2, can be regarded as an eco-city. 3 is the area of advanced technology, which is ICTs and eco-technology, and smart city in the area, 4, is a city where traditional cities, U-city and eco-city, are integrated. In other words, smart city is combining various advanced technologies with traditional cities to solve urban problems, such as housing supply, traffic congestion, energy depletion, and employment supply. Low-cost and high-efficiency-oriented, high-tech future city. In addition, smart city is not just solving urban problems using technology, but also a process of making the city smart. A smart city consists of 4 core architectures, which are service, technology, infrastructure, and management, which are STIM architecture. Let's look at one by one. First, the S for service in STIM architecture refers to the living, working, playing, and moving services required by the citizens of the smart city. They include financial services using fintech, telemedicine, healthcare, and teleworking services. Next, the T for technology in STEM architecture refers to basic ICTs that contain sensing, network, interface, processing, and security, smoothly providing smart services to citizens. The I in STEM refers to infrastructure and includes BSCI, Built Smart Computing Infrastructure, such as Intelligent Facility, Network and Information Integration Center, and Big Data Center. One of the typical intelligent facilities is the smart streetlight. The smart streetlight, with a sensor and CCTV on an existing streetlight, can prevent crime and save energy. Network infrastructure means a high-speed internet network, and the Urban Integration Operations Center and Big Data Center are an infrastructure that acts as the brain of the city, that collects and analyzes data generated in the city and provides the services citizens need in real time. Movable Smart Computing Infrastructure, MSCI, includes smartphone, intelligent robot, and autonomous vehicle. Smartphones are essential devices in a smart city. Intelligent robots and autonomous cars are movable infrastructures that can be the hands and feet of citizens who need help. Finally, let's take a look at the M in STEM, which stands for management. Management plays the most important role in STEM. The major functions of management include life cycle management of data and technology, administrative and financial management, citizen participation, smart city living lab, and infrastructure management. Even though smart cities have well-structured services, technologies, and infrastructures, smart cities can't work without management. Through STEM architecture, the smart city can provide services to anyone, anytime, anywhere. The smart city has 3 typical characteristics. First, the technical characteristics. All computers must be connected, integrated, and available anytime, anywhere, from a computer perspective. In the past, many people and one computer had a relationship. Today, it has evolved into the relationship between one person and many computers, and the form in which computers are implanted into objects. In other words, in the early days of the smart city, it was a real city that was implanted into a computer. But now, a smart city is a computer that is implanted into a real city. Second, as a morphological characteristics, computers should disappear visually. According to a recent real case study, more and more devices or artifacts with ICTs and eco-friendly technologies are being transplanted into urban spaces, such as district, building, facility, and street. Facilities that used to be used as general buildings are becoming smarter as smart devices and smart artifacts are being implanted. Finally, there is the industrial characteristics of the smart city. From an industrial point of view, the smart city has emerged as a compound with various industries. IT manufacture industries use sensors to send and receive information. Knowledge services are implanted with sensors and devices created by IT manufacture industries in the form of algorithms and software. These are to analyze information collected from sensors and devices in accordance with smart city service demands. IT services provide relevant contents. IT manufacture, knowledge service, and IT service industries converge with the construction industry to become smart cities, smart districts, smart facilities, smart buildings, and smart streets. This provides information to people who need services anytime, anywhere. This feature can be found through production and input-output coefficient in the input-output table. The industrial characteristics were analyzed using the data from the Industrial Relations Table for 1980 and 2014, researched by the Bank of Korea. 8 industries including AM, NITM, ITM, ENS, C, ITS, KS, and ETS have been reclassified based on 403 industries. As we saw characteristics of the smart city, the smart city industry is represented by the IT manufacture, IT service, knowledge service industries. When these industries are added to the construction industry, the construction becomes smart. In other words, the confluence of ITM, ITS, KS, and C can be seen as necessary for a smart city. This table shows the changes in the output of each industry. ITS production has increased 420 times from 1980 to 2014, and ITM increased by 31 times, and KS increased by 14 times. This table shows how much other industries are invested in the construction industry through the technical coefficient. A large table value means that the industry was plenty involved in the construction industry. ITS's technical coefficient increased by about 59 times. It can be interpreted as construction's continued need for IT services recently. The trends of smart cities. The latest trends of smart cities can be summarized into 4 categories: eco-intelligent city, low-cost and high-efficiency IoT city, citizen-centered city, big data platform city. First, an eco-intelligent city is a smart city that creates a pleasant urban environment. The key is an automated system that forecasts environmental problems before they occur, responds when they occur, and immediately warns citizens of problems. A typical example is the Seoul City Environmental Monitoring System. There is a carbon monitoring system in Sejong City. The start of the automatic system is that IoT, Internet of Things, sensors in the city acquire artificial and natural environment data. So where do we get the data? It can be acquired from smart devices and smart artifacts installed in the city's district, buildings, facilities, streets, etc. Eco-intelligent city recognizes and analyzes the comfort of space through data acquired on these diverse paths. As a result, urban environmental and ecological rhythms are managed. Second, an IoT city is a sensor-oriented smart city. The existing city are combined with IoT and become a hyper-connected society. IoT is evolving into IoE, Internet of Everything, by integrating with facilities and devices such as smartphones, home appliances, infrastructure, and is progressing toward a smarter city. The core of the IoT city is to connect the city's everything, including people, objects, and spaces, to solve urban problems. In urban space, the activity patterns of all networked objects are created into data, and the data is shared again with other people, objects, and spaces. Through the convergence of IoT and various industries, the service market is expanding based on the public safety of facilities. One example is a building safety telemanagement service that manages the life cycle of infrastructure through social infrastructure, such as buildings and bridges. If IoT sensors are attached to buildings, real-time monitoring can provide information on the states of buildings and bridges, and you can quickly and easily check if the buildings or bridges are safe or not. The influence of IoT is expected to bring about a dramatic change in existing urban processes and urban services. Therefore, the IoT city is a smart city model that presents low-cost, high-efficiency solutions to the safety problems of cities caused by the concentration of the population. Third, the citizen-centered city is a smart city centered on smart citizens. The core of the citizen-centered city is to read the minds of citizens and reflect them in policies. In other words, citizens become the sensors to collect, process, and provide services. To explain further, citizens secure data from their smart devices. The city disaster and risk information secured by citizens is delivered to related agencies through the platform. Then, the relevant agencies can check the information, prevent a problem before it occurs, or respond quickly without missing the golden time. This series of processes can be developed from the existing supplier-oriented smart city to the consumer-oriented smart city that collects opinions from citizens and creates it together. The Life Safety Map of the Ministry of Public Administration and Security, a map created by citizens, can be a representative example of a citizen-censored city. Big Data Platform City is a platform-based smart city that collects, analyzes, distributes, and utilizes data. The core of big data cities is using data to read and predict real-time patterns in cities to solve urban problems. To move systematically, big data cities are platform-based. The platform is an electronic space that links, consolidates, and fuses data to create various values of big data services. The data is collected in real time via smart sensors. The collected data is stored and analyzed at the big data platform, and it provides the information to users who need it in real time. This is an example of a change in land use occupancy in Sejong City using big data. Over time, you can see where people are active and where people are less active. Big data can create various values. Examples include digital twin Singapore and selecting the line of the Seoul Owl bus. Through digital twin, we can identify problems in advance by creating virtual cities or buildings and experiment with them. Also, it is a system that can prepare for disaster situations through simulation, considering weather, traffic, and other conditions. The lines of the Seoul Owl bus were created by using the big data of citizens getting on and off the buses and telecommunication. This is an innovative example that reflects the real needs of citizens demanding late-night buses. Like this, big data cities are increasing public efficiency in a way that has never been done before, and creating new added value as well as new industries. The trend of smart city services was conducted through big data analysis, focusing on the Korean thesis. According to the analysis, the trend for the smart city services was more than 75% in the areas of energy environment, education, and safety. Based on these results, smart city services are focused on energy environment and safety, which is about climate change, natural disasters, and crime, and on education, which aims to improve the quality of life. When combining the trends of smart cities, it aims to solve basic urban problems and improve the quality of life, and focuses on creating a new industrial ecosystem and creating jobs using ICT. Smart city policies in Korea. Korea has continuously promoted national smart strategies such as Cyber Korea 21, E-Korea, Broadband IT Korea, U-Korea, and Global K-Smart City since the late 1990s. The Cyber Korea 21 strategy focused on informatization, which expanded the spread of personal computers. And E-Korea focused on building high-speed internet networks and virtual cities with the aim of expanding internet penetration. U-Korea focused on integrating ICTs with physical cities for a fusion of virtual space and real space. In 2008, the world's first ubiquitous city law was enacted. Since then, the first and second U-City R&D and Smart City Comprehensive Plan had been established, and in 2007, the name and contents had been revised as the Smart City Laws to supplement the limitations of the existing U-City laws. The third Smart City Comprehensive Plan is currently established, and the projects are being pushed to invigorate smart cities, such as a Smart City Challenge Project, a Smart City Regeneration Project, and a Smart City National Testbed Project. The feature of the policy change of domestic smart city is that it is changing into government computerization, technical computer-oriented society, service-oriented information city, space-oriented smart city. Currently, Korea's smart city policy is being pushed in 5 major projects, such as Smart City Law System, Smart City Planning Project, Smart City Research and Development Project, and Smart City Policy Project, as well as other projects. The Smart City Law System has Smart City Law and a regulatory sandbox. Through these laws, Innovative technologies can be applied to cities by easing regulations in order to achieve the primary aims enhancing the urban competitiveness and quality of life. The Smart City Planning Project has a national comprehensive plan for the efficient creation, management, and operation of the smart city and a local smart city plan that is being promoted by local governments. The Regional Smart City Plan has been established by 37 local governments, including Seoul and Busan. The Smart City R&D project has mid- and long-term smart city strategy, launched in 2008 and 2014, and generic technology development project for upgrading smart city. At the same time, there are empirical studies of R&D project in Daegu, focused on smart mobility, and R&D project in Sihung, focused on energy, environment. The Smart City policy projects have a national Smart City testbed project centered on Sejong 5-1, Busan Eco Delta City, and Smart City Challenge, Smart City Regeneration Project, and Smart City Integration Platform Supply Project are all underway. Other projects include Smart City Level Diagnostic Evaluation projects and Smart City Living Lab projects. This Smart City project, which is being promoted throughout the country, is concentrated on Seoul and Gyeonggi Province. The reason is that smart infrastructure was built better there than in other regions. We can see the Smart City business is actively promoted around the Seoul, Busan. This means that economic growth has occurred around Seoul, Busan since the 1970s. Summary. Let's review what we've learned so far and organize. So far, we've learned about the concept and policy of the smart city. Everyone, thank you for your hard work.